Hi, Sirisha. Welcome to the interview. Now, this interview might be recorded and posted on YouTube Media, if you agree with it. But now, regarding the DevOps engineer position. So tell me about your experience that you have so far. What sort of positions are you looking in, and also tell about the projects that you've done.
Yeah, when coming to the myself is Shirsha Talare. I completed my graduation in Brindavan Institute of Technology. After that, I started career from DX May 2022. When coming to the skills, I have experience on Git, Jenkins, JFrog, Artifactory, Docker, Kubernetes, and Ansible, and basic idea of Terraform. And when coming to the AWS, I created EC2 instances and some IAM roles. And Jira, I have experience on that one and security groups under Route 53 VPC like that. When coming to the my project is GSAT security application. It's an insurance domain. When coming to the skills, whenever developer puts the code into Git, we pull the code. After pulling the code, we deploy. We build the application using Jenkins pipeline with scripted. And after building the code, we test the code using SonarQube. After testing the code, we create a Docker image using Docker tool. After Docker tool, we deploy the application into the Kubernetes servers with the help of Ansible. And I did monitoring work on DevOps tool, whether the DevOps tools are working fine or not in every day. If it is not goes well, we restart the container. After that, we weekend activities is there in scale up and scale down the process of replica sets.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Right. So I see that you worked a little bit on Docker and also on Kubernetes.
Yes, yes, Saurabh. Yeah.
So can you tell me why Kubernetes is important in terms of using Docker? What does Kubernetes do?
Kubernetes is a container orchestration tool. It is auto scaling and auto healing process is there, and some enterprise editions also there in Kubernetes. So that's why we are most using Kubernetes server.
Okay. And
Yeah.
do you know what are the different components in Kubernetes?
Yeah, different components means like controllers are there. Yeah.
And
In
have you heard about kubectl, kubescheduler?
yeah, kubectl and schedulers and kubeadms for installing purpose we are using. Yeah.
Okay. So can you tell me about which project have you used Kubernetes and what was your role in the project?
It's a GSAT security application. It's a different module is there, and we created a YML role.
Okay.
YML file in that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So in Kubernetes, you have got deployments.yaml and service.yaml. Can you tell me the difference between both?
Yeah. Deployment we are using for deploy the applications, and services. Different services are there like node port, cluster IP, and load balancer server. So cluster IP we are using within the within the computer, and when coming to the node port within the organization, we can access the application. For external world, we are using load balancer server. Yeah, in node port, limited port number is like 30,000 to 32,767 something is there. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, in terms of cloud technologies, you have worked on AWS, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So can you tell me about a few of the services that you have worked with?
Yeah, in EC2, I worked on in EC2 and S3 buckets and load balancer and Route 53.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me why would you use Route 53?
Route 53 we are using for routing the traffic between the different servers. We are using inside a DNS, we are using in that one, and some route policies is there like multi-route policies is there, single route policies is there, and failover policies is there. Yeah, different is a regarding our application we can perform that one.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Have you worked on alerting and monitoring?
CloudWatch we are using for alerting monitoring and ELK tool and little bit of idea of Prometheus and Grafana. So
Okay. Can you tell me about what does ELK do? What's the basic functions?
basic functions. It's a full form of Elastic Logstars and Kibana is there. Kibana we are using for UAI monitoring purpose, and Logstars we can filter the logs, and ELK using ELK we can display like whether the files are working fine or not, and that's the purpose we are using Saurabh.
Okay. Have you heard of a word called auto healing?
Yeah,
Okay. Can
auto
you?
healing we are replica set we are using that one.
Mhm. And how about if you are supposed to auto heal the based on any monitoring and alerting parameters? Can you think of an instance where you have done that
For auto scaling, we are using for that one.
or auto scaling? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we can check the health check of whether the like instances are working fine or not. Target groups is there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, have you had any experience in infrastructure as code?
No, I have idea of Terraform.
Yep. So tell me about Terraform. So where have you used
Terra,
it?
yeah, Terraform we are using for infrastructure as a code, like in AWS provisioner and uh, providers we are using for that one, and for creating a services we are using Terraform. So
Okay.
yeah,
Now, I see that you have also worked on Ansible too. Can you tell
yes,
me
yes.
one of the basic differences between Ansible and Terraform?
Ansible we are using for a configuration management tool. It's a inside a servers we are using for we deploy the application into different servers without manual process. So that's why we are using Ansible, and Terraform is the infrastructure as a code. We create a service for we are using that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me, uh, tell me something about DevSecOps. What do you understand by DevSecOps?
DevSecOps means it's a security purposes application security and system securities we are using for like in Docker file we are giving some reducing the vulnerabilities of that one. We are using some scans purpose, and in Kubernetes we are using RBAC for security purpose, and in AWS we are IAM roles and user policies here we are
Okay.
using for that one.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's say if you have got a three-tier application, that consists of web layer, logic layer, and database.
Okay.
How, so you are given this application just as a raw application, and your team lead has asked you to do all the security that you can. So what are the different measures that you will take to secure such type of application?
Okay. For security purpose we have web application like security groups.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can give security inbound, outbound rules, some network access for subnets, and we can private and public subnets is there. We can store in our application with the high security purpose. We are using that one, so we can put in a private subnet. Connect to the public to private. We are using some jump servers in that
Mm-hmm.
one, and some encryption process for DB, and in a etcd we can store some important data. For that one we can encrypt and decryption process we are using for that one. After that mm, for some secrets and configuration management tools we are using for that one, Saurabh.
Okay. And
Yeah,
how would you secure your database?
secure our database means like, we can store in a private subnet in that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything about web application firewalls you would like to say?
WAF we are using for that one. Not much I know. Like some internet gateways, I know that one. And internet gateways and VPN something is there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that one I know. Yeah.
how about encryption?
Encryption we are not much an idea of
Okay,
that
all right.
one.
So are you
Yeah.
aware of encryption at rest and transit using different types of keys?
Transient transient gateways something. Huh?
No, no, encryption at transit, but that's all right. I think you mentioned some of the key points, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, encryption and decryption we are using for decrypting the code like that. In some secrets and passwords we store in secret
Mm-hmm.
places. Yeah,
Okay.
in Kubernetes we
Can
are
you tell
using.
me why would you use a NAT gateway in AWS? What's the use of it?
NAT gateway we are in private subnet we are using NAT gateways. Saurabh, we can download any files and packages. We are using NAT gateways.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of your CI/CD, you mentioned that you have done some CI/CD as well. can you tell me the fundamental difference between CI and CD first?
Yeah. CI means full form of continuous integration and continuous delivery and deployment is there. In continuous integration, we build the code. After building the code, we test the application. That is a continuous integration. And continuous deployment means we can deploy the application into the servers without a manual process. When coming to the continuous delivery, we can deploy the application into the servers using some manual process with manual process is there in that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of deployments, there are multiple ways in which you can do. So, can you think of what are the different ways in which you can do the deployments?
Deployments like Kubernetes we are using for.
All right.
I did not.
Let me give you the terminology. Uh,
Yeah.
do you know the differences between canary deployment, rolling deployment, blue green deployments?
Yeah, blue green deployment we are using for that one for we updated some versions. We are using blue green deployment and whether the servers are V1 version 1 version 2 servers are there, we can passing some routers to the version 2, we down the servers in version 1 server. So that's a blue green deployment for low latency and we can give more access into the user. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, Sirisha, the next round that we'll be having, there will be more of an experienced focus rather than just the technology. So, in this round, so I'll be asking you the different type of scenarios that you have handled and what has your experience been. Can you tell me the most challenging project that you have done? What were the challenges and how did you resolve it?
Yeah. In in that time I have freshers. I have no experience on DevOps tools. Whenever that we face some issue on so in we restart the DevOps containers using DevOps restart container ID something, and after that we are using for some tools in Maven tools. We mixing in the Jenkins configuration tool configurations. So inside that one we put some we it's missing like that. It is showing some errors in scripted pipeline. So that's why we recheck that one and see the whether the where we can miss the stage and we recheck that one and in Ansible some scripted basic scripted written inside that one. For connecting purpose we are using host and IP addresses. So we ping that IP addresses, it's not came. So I recheck that one also, Saurav.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how did you resolve it eventually?
Inventory file inside inventory file I written some like IP addresses and server name.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, tell me in your experience, what is the most complex task that you have done? So it might be around writing around the most complex script or a Terraform code, or it might be around some complex deployments, any sort of complexity which in which you had to stretch out of your comfort zone, do a little bit extra that was not a part of your role, or something which took a lot of time and it paid off eventually.
Yes. Yeah. In Kubernetes YML file, Saurabh, and a Docker file, it is same. For me, the basic I have only basic idea of that too that time. So I am written. I searched something in YouTube and I resolved that issues and where we can use node port and cluster IP and load balancers and how we can port numbers also, how we can give that port numbers. That's the main challenges and the Docker file is main challenge for me, Saurav.
Okay. So so DevOps is currently full of lot of technologies. So we've got so many segments in it. So whenever you come across a new technology, what is your approach of learning a new tech stack?
Yeah, first basic first I will search on basic basic videos on that that tool. And after that, after a beginner, I will go to intermediate. Intermediate is okay for me. Extreme means it will big load for me, Saurav. So that's why in that and I take some notes on that one, and the whether the process, how process is going for one tool to integrate to another tool, like that I can see and
Okay.
experiment and practice on that more in that one, Saurav.
Okay.
Yeah.
So any specific technology which took you a longer time to learn than you anticipated?
Yeah, it's a Kubernetes. It's a large. It's a ocean. It's a CCAD is there. CCAD admin part is there. So that's the I combined two CCAD and CCAD Saurav. So I have some more tough on that one.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of the other tech stack, can you tell me, just coming to back to the basics, how extensively have you used Git?
Git Git we are pulling the code into the
Okay.
Jenkins server. So we are
Can
using
you can
Git
you tell me
pull.
about can you tell me about the branching strategy and how main is important than any other branch?
Yeah. First, we are using dev branch. Normally, most of the time we are using a dev branch, and after that we are using staging and some master branch. After that, we are using for that one.
Mhm.
And first we are using stage branch means only first dev means that all the developer push the code into development branch. If it is okay, we can go to the staging and main branch, Saura. So that's the we cannot collaborate all those things, and we cannot merge all those things. So it will correct our applications.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah, so that's why different branches we are using.
Okay. And have you done any sort of multi-staging as well? So like multi-branch deployments and multi-staging in Docker files?
Multi-stage Docker files we are using for as alias name we are given for that one.
Okay. And can you tell me the benefit
And
of the multi-stage Docker file?
multi-stage Docker file we can reducing the Docker file storage, and it will faster. It will create a faster than Docker image. It will
Mhm.
create a faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as you know that containers, they cannot store any state in themselves. Like if a container dies, if there's any data remaining with it, that gets lost. So it's important for any application not to store the data in the container, but rather store it externally. So what sort of external connectivity would you have in your application which is running on containers so the data is stored elsewhere?
Yeah. Like we are using some persistent volume claims we are using
Hmm.
for that one. For whenever we lost the like application down, it will store our data into the persistent volumes. Like
Yep.
it's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the difference between a persistent volume and a volume claim?
Persistent volume means we can store information, and persistent volume claim means we can claim the files.
Okay.
So that's why we are using. Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's say you're working in an organization which finds that their AWS cost is running very high. So
Okay.
lots of different servers, lots of containers, lots of serverless applications. The manager has asked you to look into AWS and see what are the things that you can do for cost optimization. So how would you approach this problem? Where would you go into AWS and figure out what can be reduced? So what's your approach towards that?
First, we are reducing the elastic IP, Saurabh. For elastic, it will cost more, so that's why we are using. No, we are reducing that static IP, and after that, um, um, some some in S3 bucket we can storing some informations.
Okay.
Hello,
Yeah, I can hear you, Shirisha. Can you hear me? Did I lose you? Come on. Shirisha, you there?
hello. Yeah, Saurabh, I am there.
Okay, sorry. I think I lost you for a second. Yep. So
Yes,
the question, sorry, yeah, you were in the middle of answering it. So we were talking about cost
yes.
optimization techniques, and you said, can you tell me about some cost optimization techniques? You started off with Elastic IP, and then I lost you, I think.
Yes. Elastic IP, like we reducing that one. After that, we can store some logs in a S3 bucket. If it is stored in very long, we can use some life cycle process is there in bucket. So after we can different stages is there, like a standard and glacier. After that we can delete that logs in that one. And if we are mostly we are using for auto scaling purpose. So auto scaling we are using whenever the user increasing, that time only it will create the another EC2 instances. So that's the I recommended that one only, Saura.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think I'm close to the end of my questions, Shirisha. So what I'll do is I'll just pause the recording now, and then we can continue.